Hey guys, welcome to another vlog. I'm Kevin. So today's topic is actually about depression. It's quite serious. I don't want to really... I normally don't like to do negative vlogs like these, but some of you have in the past liked to hear about these horror stories. And because Halloween's just around, I'm going to give you a really poor story, I guess. So there was one time... actually, no, I already told you that in an older vlog right here. So it was called one of the worst moments in my life. But that was just describing the worst moment. This time around, we're going to talk about the depression. Depression is something that hits you in random stages of your life. It could happen from any numerous amount of things, like you lose your friends, or like you have to move, lose a career, poor upbringing, I don't know. Sometimes divorces really affect other people's lives, and it does. And a slew of anything, like you couldn't find your career or whatever. You had so much things invested in this one thing, but then nothing worked out and you couldn't find any positives out of it. Depression is very devastating. This isn't the kind of depression where it's like, oh, my friend's feeling bad today and I came up to him and I was like, yo, cheer up, man, let's go hit some golf balls out into the driving range. No, this is the kind of depression where they're in such a hell and they're in such a hole that anything you say to them almost sounds like an insult towards them. But you won't know that because you're feeling okay. To the friend who is in the abysmal hell, if you tell them to cheer up, it sounds like to them, they'll feel like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, he's just abandoning me. He does not understand what I'm feeling right now. And he's telling me to cheer up. That's the last thing I want to do right now because I fucking hate everything. Why the fuck would I want to cheer up? And that's the kind of depression that some of us reach. And I've reached there before. And luckily I have very mature friends. And the best thing you can do for that friend who's in the abysmal hell is that it's just like you sit down with them, coffee bar or something, or like a dessert place or food or whatever, and just be like, hey man, or like, hey sis. It's just like, I don't know if anything's gonna get better. I don't know if time will heal anything. I hope it'll get better for you, but like, I'm here, I'm listening. If you need to say anything, I'm all ears. Don't do anything stupid because I care about you and I'm here. That's it. Like, I don't know if things will get better or things will get worse. It's just, I'm here to listen. I'm here to keep an eye on you. Know that I know. Know that I know this about you, and that's it. Like, I can't say I know what you're feeling, and I can't say, like, I don't know what happened to your situation unless you tell me. And know that, like, if you want to just sit here and sit in silence and just grumble and have a staring contest, I'm cool with that. It's just, I hope you'll get better soon, and I hope you'll feel happier in, like, moments later. If it takes a few days, like, I understand. It's just, please inform me of how you feel, like, in the next few days kind of thing. And if it's still not better, we'll have to try and figure out something, because we can't keep going like this. And it's true, because there was, in the past, I had to deal with a person that was very frequently depressed. I don't really want to talk shit about them. It was like a chemical imbalance for them, so they didn't really have too much control over it. And it was very exhausting for me, right? I had to deal with it for about 2-3 years, and then I finally stopped because I got fed up with it, because the person didn't want to admit it, and then they didn't want to look for help. So it felt kind of like they used me as like a post to keep pulling themselves up. But at the same time, though, if you keep doing that, you're also dragging that same person down, and they don't have that much energy to keep doing that repeatedly, and it just wears them down. And that's unfair to, like, any of your friends as well, for those of you in that abysmal hell. So you gotta like figure out, like, your friends will be there, but you can't exactly like lean on your friends forever, because they're gonna fall over, and then you'll be out of luck. So because you have to figure out this puzzle yourself. This is a challenge that you have to overcome. It's not something that someone else will fix. It's not something that time will fix. Time will give you the pieces. It's up to you to put the puzzle together, though, and then solve it yourself. That's easier said than done, but I've already been through, like, some forms of hell, and it's just like, I don't want to go back there. Like, that feeling sucks. Depression really sucks. And then if you've never felt happiness, once you feel happiness, you want to fight for that forever. And then afterwards, you just don't give a shit about depression. And then when you hit into depression, for those of you who have been there and then come out of it and then gone back into it, because life is fucking shit all the time, and then you've gone back into it. You'll get yourself out because you don't want to be in that situation because you know it sucks. It sucks to feel that way. It sucks to think like that, and it sucks to always have to, like, when the world's always pounding on you like that. It's just really, really annoying. And the best things you can do is try and be creative at how to get out of it without harming yourself or your friends. So that's the biggest challenge when you have such a dark mindset. Like, we're all capable of this. Like, we all have dark thoughts from time to time. We all have very, very dark minds that we can enter, and we also have very, very positive minds that we can enter as well. So but you definitely don't want to stay in the dark mind, because you'll go crazy. And when you go crazy, you just start laughing at everything, like me. Shit. And you become a little bit more cynical of the world, and you become a little more insane as well. And that's what happened. Like, that's one way I cope with it. I'm always like smiling on the screen here. You guys don't really actually know what I'm like in real life. In real life, I'm actually quite antisocial. I always have this stern grimace on my face, and I'm barely ever smiling unless I'm with people I know or like someone I want to meet. And that's why I'm kind of antisocial, I guess. But it's kind of strange because I'm on YouTube here putting myself out there. But that's not the point, though, guys. So like, depression, it's a very serious thing. There's so many ways to deal with it, but then there's also so many ways to also escalate it as well. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, for the friend who is in absolute depression, telling him to cheer up, him or her to cheer up, just won't help. Sometimes, like, even a hug won't do anything. Like, they might not even want to be touched. They could be really apprehensive about everything. So you have to be really careful. It's also, you got to read their body language. That's like another thing. And for those of you who go through it and survive through it, and you actually learn how to deal with it, like, you guys are probably way more have a stronger empathy than people who are just always happy. It's because you've known both sides of, like, hell and heaven now. It's like, you know what's great, you know what's good, and if you go to either end, you know which how to deal with it, and you actually become more emotionally intelligent. So I know this because it's like, when I see somebody that's actually really sad, it's almost immediate. Like, I almost pick it up, like, immediately. I just know what they're feeling like, and then whether or not if I want to deal with it in the time, like, if I'm in the mood. So, and then generally, like, first few times is fine, but then after a while, it's like, hey, like, you gotta stop doing this, and you gotta pick yourself up. And it's like, I can't keep lending you ropes, and while you have an anchor around both your ankles, just dragging you down. Like, learn how to chop the anchors off and give yourself, like, flying shoes so you start going up. So, I hate this topic. But yeah, I know a lot of people in the world are always depressed, or they have a lot of things they want. Like, you know, happiness is very, very hard to find, stuff like that. You gotta live life a bit more happily. It's easier said than done. It's actually a lot harder than most realize. Living in bliss is one thing, but you don't know what's really bad or what's really good until you find out. And when you find out, if you're living in bliss, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Unless you're just, like, you're very confident in yourself, but everybody, it cracks here and there. So anyways, guys, I hope maybe this kind of maybe mirrored some of you, or, you know, it hit the nail for some of you. I don't know. I obviously don't know. That's just something that I've realized from going through certain types of depressions. Sometimes it feels so bad that, like, anything anyone tries to say to you to try and cheer you up or make you feel better, it actually ends up doing double the damage. It takes a very, very careful wordsmithing too to those friends who are in those troubles. You have to smith your words very carefully. Choice of words is very important during those times. It's like a critical moment. The better you can express your care to the person, the better they'll understand that you're actually there for them. Sometimes it's like, if you say it a lot, it has no meaning and it has no effect. And that's the problem. Like, if you always tell somebody to cheer up, that might not mean anything anymore. because they say it all the time. It's like they didn't really even think about anything else on trying different strategies to like, you know, empower the other person. And then it's like that's something that if a person who's very, very observant like myself, who gets into a depression, they'll notice these behaviors, and then that becomes very hard for any kind of friend to understand them. And this is why, like, when I become depressed, I generally tell them right away, and then I try to keep it to myself. Like, I tell all my friends immediately, and then I just keep it to myself, and then like, I know what I'm doing, and then I don't need them to give me words of encouragement because I know how to get out of that hole by myself. So it's not something that someone else is going to pull you out of. It's something that you're going to pull yourself out of. And that's something, it makes for a much better story, and it'll make you a greater person overall when you're through it. And if you're still struggling in there, you have to look into yourself. You have to look into yourself. Don't do anything stupid. I guarantee it. If you do something stupid, it's not worth it. No matter how tempting and how great it sounds at the time, you have to put it down somewhere and just look at it. Take a few steps back if you can. Don't let the feelings take over, and always just keep a clear mind at those times. If you feel like something stupid is really going to happen, write it down on a piece of paper and have somebody read it to you. Sometimes that actually even helps too. Like, I did that one time for a person. I was like, "How are you feeling?" And they're like, "Oh, I feel like shit." And they're like, "I want to go do this." And I was like, that sounds very drastic. And I was like, here, write that down. Write down like the topmost things that are bugging you right now. And they wrote it down. And I was like, okay. I was like, just look here. I'm like, if you do this, like, the consequences are really, really stupid, and you gain nothing out of it. And it's not good. It's just like, think about like 10 years back when you were a kid. It was like you were running around a playground, playing tag, being happy and all that. Those things still exist. When you do that, it's not going to exist anymore, and you're just going to be like, it's just going to be null and void after. So, just as an example, like there's no good example here. Every situation is different. You just have to make sure that you're there for your friend. In like, it's so hard to explain it. It's just, you can't just be there for your friend. You have to let them know in some form, in some kind of expression, that they know that you are there for sure. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hate this topic. In any case though, thanks so much for watching. I hope you take care. And if you have a friend in trouble, I hope, you know, you care about them too. So, or either that, the best thing you can do is to help them find solutions for themselves. It's not so much just putting a band-aid over it. Help them fix themselves so they can be independent. And whether they know it or not afterwards doesn't matter, as long as you know that they're still in your life.